Got it. Hey everyone. I think there is no delay because I think I figured it out. So hi, welcome. I hope everyone had a great week. Welcome to the Quest Show. I am your host, Lana Quest, and this is my co-host.
Honored to be here. Got a great show to talk, got a lot to talk about, but let's get to those necessities first.
Yes, we do have some necessities. You guys know what it is. Come on now, give it up. Give up those likes. If you are in the chat, I don't see who's in the chat, but if there's 3 people in the chat, 5 people, we should have at least 3 or 5 thumbs up. Everyone out there watching, please give us a thumbs up. Please share the video. Please subscribe. Thank you to our new subscriber. We do have one, Latanya Millhouse, is it? She's going to be on the show, so I should absolutely know her name, but she did subscribe to our show. Thank you, Latanya. She's scheduled for the 28th. I do want to say congratulations to Lauren Hubbard.
Congratulations are in order, right? He won his primary.
He won his primary. I guess you had to make 50, and his opponent did not make 50, so he is going against C. Connolly on June 7th. That will be the runoff. So yes, congratulations and good luck. Good luck, Lauren.
And as always, with Lauren and all of our candidates, please continue to support, donate what you can. Every bit counts. We have a lot of candidates that have been on the show that are not taking corporate dollars. They are looking for grassroots, small donation, large donations if you have them. But they definitely need our support in any way possible, whether that is, again, tweeting, retweeting, donating, do what you can.
You're absolutely right. You guys, do we have any honorable mention things to talk about? There are a couple of things.
Let's see. Actually, yes, we have an honorable mention and kind of a watch this space. So there seems to be a story brewing about 2 Secret Service or some Secret Service agents. Or wait a minute, let me get it right. 2 men that were posing as Secret Service agents or federal agents, and they had kind of befriended several Secret Service agents. They nicely paid the rent for one of the agents to the tune, I think it was $40,000 for like the 1 year's worth of rent or whatever.
That's crazy, right?
I'd like to see the inside of that. Give me the 3D view, because that must really be nice. But anyway, and they also purchased a rifle for one of the Secret Service men. I think that was assigned to Dr. Joe Biden's detail, the First Lady. So they have been some Secret Service men that have been suspended. These men were arrested, but have been sent to let go on bond. They are on house arrest, but there is sure to be an investigation. So like I said, watch this space. There's going to be more to follow on that, because something's not right.
And what's interesting too is, I know we got to move on, but they were released to the custody of their fathers. I don't know. It's just such an interesting thing. Like, that's what I read. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
Their fathers? Are they Russian? Because I'm starting to think, like, what's happening here for real? Some type of intel.
I don't think I heard the nationality of the men. I know they had, I will just say, foreign sounding names.
Yes, they did.
So
no stereotyping
don't
here.
Know how to pronounce them, so I'm not even going to attempt to butcher. But anyway, watch the space. As more comes out, we will have more on that. Now, let's get to our top news.
Our top news. In the news this week, if you haven't heard, another unarmed black man was murdered by the police. There's not a lot that's come out about it, not a lot of details, but the body cam did come out. And I don't want to speculate on anything, but what we do know, let's just talk about what we do know. Unarmed Black man stopped by the police. Traffic stop, routine. No, it wasn't. Was it a traffic stop or was it?
It was a
plates
routine
or
traffic
something?
stop.
It was a
The
routine.
plates did not match the car.
Exactly, just a routine stop. He tried to just walk away, or he wouldn't do what the police wanted him to do. Per usual, cops get whatever. A struggle ensued. He ended up, the cop, with his knee and his back. He had tried to taser him. That didn't work. Like, he tasered down. Mr. Lyoya grabbed the taser at one point. They ended up on the ground. But see, this is the part that gets me. Like, it seems like they always pull the trigger when they actually have the man subdued. Because now he's on the ground. He's pinned down. You have your knee in his back. His hands are on the ground. This is when you pull out the gun and you shoot him in the head. I don't know. It's unfortunate.
Well, I was just going to say, Ben Crump is their attorney. And I'm sure there will be an investigation. Isn't the cop on paid administrative leave?
Paid administrative leave. Yes. Paid leave. He's been on the force since 2015. His family is saying, their statement said that he's African and he didn't understand the commands all the way. So he wasn't, and even his parents do not understand, right? They had to have, I believe, a translator as well. So we're going to watch this space, as Honor always says, and Rachel Maddow. we will watch.
And just one more point, like, we don't even know if the car was his and it was registered to him and the license plates weren't his. Like, we don't even know the circumstances.
There's no clarity on any of this. And as usual, this happened earlier. What did it happen in March or earlier this month? Maybe they just released that body cam again. We'll watch the story. Like, it's just, I don't know. We're tired of talking about these things. We have to talk about them, but it's sad.
Yeah.
Another Black man. And again, police reform. But will that even help at this point? Like, I
think there has to be a reform in mentality. But we will, this is another watch this space, because that investigation is just beginning. It seems like nothing ever actually begins before body cam footage is released. It shows something ridiculous. And then, there has to be calls for special prosecutors and investigations. I know Ben Crump would like to get a good night's sleep.
Really would. Right. We should have looked up who the Attorney General. Anyone in the chat know who the Attorney General is for Michigan? Let us know.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I'm pretty curious about that. So next, speaking of people being brutal, a Texas woman was arrested, being accused of self-induced abortion. We knew this was going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. So I guess it stemmed from a report made to police by a local hospital in January. So someone called the police on her.
Okay.
Because of course we have those laws now where citizens, if you see something, say something. So I guess if you see or hear something about someone had an abortion, you call the police.
Here's the thing. I mean, we are speculating, and there is some indication that Roe versus Wade may be overturned, but it hasn't yet. So the right to have an abortion is a constitutionally protected right that a woman has. You cannot be arrested for having that medical procedure, because I think people forget that that's exactly what it is. It is a medical procedure. She was arrested and released on $500,000 bail. When we were talking about this story, I pointed out, I'm like, if she had $500,000, she may not have been contemplating an abortion.
Right. 500,
We don't know the reason why, but yeah, and then they're supposed to be dismissing the charges. But that whole thing, like you said, is just it's just the tip of the iceberg because, and I'm going to segue. We're going to come back to Texas, but I need to segue because what was it? Oklahoma signed a total abortion ban. There was no viability. There are no instances for any exceptions. And it should be noted that Oklahoma shares a border with Texas. So that effectively cut women off in Texas from going into Oklahoma. It was a very purposeful thing.
Absolutely.
That was done.
Absolutely. Every state. And we also talked about, because you made a great point last night. Those are poor white women.
Those states are not densely do not have a dense, large Black population or Latino population. So they are cutting off services for lower income white women. Mainly, primarily. Primarily.
And then they're also trying to make it, I don't even remember what state, because to be honest with you, between Oklahoma, Texas, Kentucky, like it's just all becoming a big blur. Trying to make it also against the law for them to even travel to a different state to have an abortion. So they're trying to even cut that off as well. And then trying to cut off the people who transport you. So if someone drives you, they're going to be held accountable. So like, not only are the women going to be arrested, possibly, it's the doctors, it's the nurses, it's anyone who's giving you any type of medical care pertaining to this medical procedure, because as Anna said,
so a couple of quick things. The Michigan Attorney General, thank you, Muriel, is Dana Nessel, Democrat. So hopefully there will be further investigation into Patrick Lyola's death. And I'm gonna Loyola, I'm gonna come on back to Texas because they can't be horrible in just one area.
No, they're not. Just ghouls everywhere. All of the ghouls. What's going on in Texas?
Well, didn't you tell me you're a big fan of avocados? You like fruit?
Look at my finger. That. Look at that finger. It's still a mess. That's an avocado.
Governor Abbott decided that he was going to inspect each and every truck that came across the Mexican border and shut down all ports of entry except for like a couple. Last report, and I didn't check it today, but there were truckers that had been sitting in line for over 30 hours with the fruits and vegetables that we eat. So this actually, you pointed this out, ties into inflation, right?
This is inflation, supply and demand. If you hold up the supply, everybody's who's demanding it is waiting. So the prices get jacked up. And this is by design. This is not an accident. These Republicans are like, they may not be out here creating policy, but they're out here creating problems, and they want problems for Biden because they know it's an election. They don't have to create policy. They just need us to start saying, and the media to start saying, this is Biden's inflation. That's all they need. And that's what they're doing. And they're doing
not taking into account. I mean, a lot of those, that produce is going to spoil and go bad. It is going to cost money on both sides. The farmers that had to grow it, and the truckers that rely on payment for the delivery of goods, and us as consumers.
And not only that, the people who are ordering it. So the people, Americans here in America who have ordered these fruits and vegetables are waiting and can't even get their fruits and vegetables. So you're messing up our economy and
it is right. It's not just supermarkets, it's restaurants, it's hospitals, it's anywhere where you may find a fruit or a vegetable.
Schools.
School lunches, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Nursing homes, everything. We can't
Mhm.
even get this stuff because people like Governor Abbott, and you better believe it's not just Texas that this is happening in. This is
Right.
atrocious. They don't care. They don't care. Wake up, people. That's why voting is so important. You got to get informed. It is not Biden creating inflation. It's just not.
So, and I'm just going to go ahead and trifecta Abbott here
Go
because we hit women's rights, we hit the economy, and now I'm going to go on ahead and hit immigration. I read a CNN article this morning that I think it was early this morning or yesterday. The second busload of undocumented immigrants arrived in Washington, D.C. He has decided that he should send them to Washington so that Biden can deal with the problem directly. And I think they're dropping them off like a few blocks away from Capitol Hill. Yeah, they're just no
Like,
more, no
I
less,
can't-
no
I
more, no
can't-
less. I don't have anything else to this story.
I'm not
He's just
saying-
decided.
I can't.
I don't have nothing else. I don't have, there were no plans for Biden to meet them. He just like, okay, yeah. So you deal with our immigration problem at the borders. Here you go. Here are the actual people.
So meanwhile, Texas and their infrastructure is all jacked up. The electricity is messed up in the summertime. The electricity is messed up in the wintertime. Climate change is destroying them. Roads and bridges, but he's got time and money, taxpayer money, no less, to put them on a Greyhound from Texas.
The bus, right? The bus. And it's voluntary, but I mean,
yeah, this is the Republican Party, everyone. We can't make any of this up. How is there an option for any of you? How can you, let's go back because you forgot. Where are the Karens? You forgot because that was your saying, girl.
It truly was. Oh, Karen, where art thou? Your reproductive rights have been taken away.
Yes.
Where are they? I haven't heard a peep.
Right.
Karen, I told you, where are the pink hats? Where are the marches in Washington?
Karen, we're gonna need you to leave the people who are walking their dogs alone. We're going to need you to leave the people who are ordering, the Black people who are ordering their food, stay out of their business and get yourself to Washington and start protesting because Republicans are taking your rights away too, Karen.
Here you go. Wait a minute. I'm going to make it even more simple. You don't have to go to Washington because it's your own states that are doing this. All you got to do is get to your state house, baby. Only to your state house. You don't have to book no flight. I mean, if Abbott could put immigrants on a bus from Texas, certainly you can take a car drive, Uber drive,
right,
bicycle.
We're gonna need y'all to step it up
to your state house and make some noise.
Make some noise.
Make some noise.
That's it. Like when healthcare was being taken away, people were in wheelchairs, throwing their bodies everywhere. This is literally a call to action because, you know, I ain't having any more babies, but it's important to, you know.
Right. The generations behind us. And we need to let them know.
Yeah.
Like you all have got to make some noise. Mm-hmm. You really do. You really do. So yeah, that, whew, Texas.
You're right about that. So speaking of making some noise, segue. So Amazon has been unionized on Staten Island. The first Amazon. Yay, exactly. And let's all give it up to Chris Smalls. He gets a big congratulations for helping to organize and unionize Amazon workers. So Chris Smalls used to be an employee. He's an ex-employee of Amazon. He was fired for complaining about the unsafe conditions and the long working hours. So they fired him because he was literally holding rallies then, trying to rally the troops, saying, hey, this isn't good. So he decided to create a union, and they nominated him to be like, was it union head, a union steward, or whatever. So he just basically educated people on what a union was, because I think that's part of the issue. People don't understand what a union does. I think they think like they're going to lose money, because Amazon really did spend a lot of money, millions of dollars, to put out fake news,
misinformation,
about what exactly about what unions were. And he was very particular, and he was also giving out his flyers saying, this is why unions are beneficial. We get to negotiate for our wages. We get to negotiate for our hours, for safety, for all of that. So kudos to Chris Smalls. And girl, they were so afraid of this Black man that they sent a memo out to say, we can deal with him. He's inarticulate. He's not very smart, and he's inarticulate. This is what they said about him.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're unionized, and other facilities have contacted him.
Yes.
Other facilities have contacted,
help,
right? And Amazon is trying to have the vote nullified. It was voted with a 55% approval. I'm not sure where 55% is like not a majority. I mean, so good luck, Amazon. Good luck.
Yeah, right. Because now they're trying to do that smear campaign, right? They're in court trying to smear him, Googling his name. What were we talking about the other day? You said that they mentioned his weed because he smokes weed.
No, they said
he was giving weed out
because they alleged that he gave weed out as enticement to get people to vote. You know what though? What's funny about that is everybody say weed make you lazy. So it's like, it should almost like be the opposite, right? Like if he gave you weed to smoke, then you didn't do nothing but veg out on the couch and just eat munchies. You didn't go vote. So I don't know. I don't know how effective an objection that is going to be.
I guess maybe he was like bribing them with it. Like, yo, if you go and vote, you get this weed. Like, what are they trying to?
But again, here's the thing: marijuana, weed is legal in the state of New York. Right, so he didn't do anything illegal. But he said it's no different than giving a T-shirt. It's no different than, I don't know if you could like give little $5,
right?
I mean, it's no different than doing any of that,
right?
And again, so like you said, good for him, good for those workers. Amazon makes those people work under horrible conditions in those facilities.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah, they have more injuries than Walmart, and Walmart's the biggest employer.
Let me tell you, those warehouses are not air conditioned.
Right.
They're cold in the wintertime. Like they are just
right.
Yeah. So.
And this is catching on. Here in Boston, 2 Starbucks unionized. It's catching on. Like people are learning, like, you know what? No, it is beneficial if we stick together and listen. Right. Why do you think they trying to take our vote away now? That's how this is proof positive of how powerful your vote is. That's why they're always trying to suppress it. Always.
Exactly. So yes, kudos to those workers at Amazon and Chris Smalls. And finally, we have to talk about the New York subway attack, which fortunately there was no one that was critically injured or killed. I was just kind of stunned to hear it.
Right.
Like there's just so much to say about that. The guy that they arrested had a lengthy history of rants and raves on social media.
Right.
And also, just some of the things that I've heard is now they're using that as a justification to ramp up police, but there's something like 3,500 policemen that already patrol the subway system. So it's like, how are you going to, how does that help? How does that help?
Are they really? I know I heard Eric Adams, and I know people don't like Eric Adams, but he's only been in office 3 months or whatever. But I know he was talking about having not so metal detectors, but they're not metal detectors, right? They're not the metal detectors that you think that they are. He's like, there are a lot of places that have, because it's new technology, these things, and you just don't even know you're walking through it, because all they're doing is detecting guns. Like, they're not detecting your earrings or anything. It's just the gun. So he's trying to get that in place.
I think that should be in place. Don't you think? That's like kind of common sense, right?
I've always wanted that on the subway, because I always feel like just open.
There are no
anything.
safeguards on any subway system.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like, you can carry any amount of bags you want on the subway system. Like, there's just, there do need to be security reforms. And if that's even in the form of technology, then yeah, they need to make that happen.
Right. The cameras aren't working. Like, like, I thought, forgive my ignorance, but when I see a camera or camera somewhere, I thought that there's supposed to be someone watching the feed. Like, so we, at least in some. So like remember the woman with George Floyd? She watched it. The police officer, she watched that feed. She was watching that happen. So I guess
but I think that was because she
maybe
was like the 911 dispatch.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't like, I don't think she was just monitoring and happened to come upon that.
Yeah, she turned it on. She turned that one on. Okay, I get it. So what people say he was captured. I'm just gonna say he turned himself in. I'm gonna try not to laugh about this. I swear, I promise, honor, I'm not gonna go down that road.
Well, you know what? That's not right. He turned himself
into me, because he called them and said, I am here. So,
and let's get to the heart of the matter. That man fired 33 shots, 33 rounds in that subway car. It is a miracle that no one was actually, again, critically injured or killed.
Right. And had a hatchet. Like, where was he going?
And had a hatchet and had other explosives. Had it not been for him losing his key, sorry, man. I mean, y'all really need to get that in order.
Right.
Y'all always losing your key. I didn't know y'all did it at that age, though. Anyway, that just brings you back into question. And his gun was purchased legally, but 33 rounds in a matter of that wasn't like a 10-15 minute episode that happened. And if you want to combine that with the shooting in Sacramento that we did not have a chance to speak about, in which wasn't there over 100 rounds fired?
100 shell casings, 6 dead. They had the 2 suspects. There was that altercation before the shooting. So, that it wasn't a terrorist act per se, an altercation. However, we were talking about this. That's in California. And California has like the strictest gun laws there are. They have like 107 after the shooting. They put in more laws. But the tough thing about Sacramento is that their neighbor is Arizona, where you can get any amount of assault weapons that you want. Like, it's just happening. And then the other guy in Sacramento, I don't know if we talked about this when on the visit with his children. He killed the chaperone. That was in Sacramento. That was 5 weeks prior to this one. His children and himself. Right.
It was a supervisor. Was it at the police station?
Or the church? No? It was at a church.
It was at a church. Okay, it was but it was a supervised visit.
Visit. Right. Absolutely. So it's like guns. We're just a mass with guns. And it's again, it's not going to end unless we have gun reform. Like we can't, it's impossible. California has, they rank number one with their gun safety, but because they're next to a state that is totally lax, you can do anything.
Right.
Guns are just being driven in. I was telling you how that this hip hop artist was just indicted for bringing 300 guns from Georgia to Philadelphia, because they're like, why are these guns from the same place in all of these crimes? They keep turning up.
Wow.
So they investigated that and they did a sting and they arrested him and some other people that he had working. 300 guns.
300 additional guns on the street of Philly. And it begins to make sense as to why crime is up in almost every major city. Philly, New York, Baltimore, Detroit. And you know what? Grand Rapids. I mean, Sacramento. Crime is up everywhere. Everywhere.
And again, I always think this is the Republicans like in the room somewhere, because they always want to sabotage. Like they don't care. They will risk it all. They want us to continue to have these, just my opinion, I don't know for a fact, but it just seems, because all they have to do is agree to do some type of gun reform. No one's saying ban anything. We just want to make it harder.
How about you make it so that each and every time you buy a gun, you have to have a background check. Because if you buy a gun in 2011, it's no indication of what you're going to do. And not to say that he purchased more guns, but even even that ammunition, if you 11 years later, you're popping off in the subway.
Like, what is that?
I mean, just even something small like that. You already have to undergo a background check. Undergo another. And make sure the background check includes a mental health check. I don't know of any reason why anyone should need a gun immediately. And we create exceptions for everything. So, you know what? Even if you're a store owner and your store was robbed, you haven't had a gun, you want one for protection, maybe that's an exception. You are a business owner. We will grant you, still pending background check, but just ask for, Steve Johnson, I walk in, I want this AK-47 today, AR-15, whatever those guns are. No. No. For what? You going hunting?
And it's funny though, even gun owners are like, yeah, we think there should be some reform. Everyone thinks there should be reform except for the Republicans, because they want the problems. They just want the problems so they can blame it on the other guy.
And the last part of this, I just wanted to mention the executive order that Biden signed banning ghost guns, actually, and requiring the kits to now be serialized so that there is some way of tracing those pieces and those parts, because they are beginning to show up here in Baltimore and in other places.
Yeah, they are.
They really are. You wouldn't think so many people had 3D printers, but there you go.
I don't even understand how that works. It's just like making parts and putting them together, like literally just like rebuild. It's like almost like rebuilding an engine. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that wraps up the top 5 news.
I know. I know. There was so much more. So much more to talk about. But now it's time for a game. We're gonna play questions. No, what is this game? Questions, quotes, and quests.
Quotes and questions.
You take 1 week off. You can't remember. Like what? There's a game coming up. I just know what it's called.
It's my game, Quest. I do quotes and I'm asking some questions. There you go.
So we'll forget next week. Okay, so let's get this game going so we can wrap it up. Get your thinking caps on. The first is a quote. If Biden keeps shipping illegal immigrants to Alabama, we're going to have to all learn Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that one awful?
That is horrible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. As y'all guessed that.
Wow. Someone said that out loud.
Someone
well, I
said
think
it
I
out
know
loud.
who that someone is,
Yeah,
but
you do. You absolutely do. You
Gold.
absolutely do. Yep. Let's see. Game time. If Biden keeps shipping illegal immigrants to Alabama, we're gonna have to all learn Spanish. Oh, let's see. White woman.
Oh, right.
Politician. If Biden keeps shipping all illegal immigrants to Alabama, we're gonna have to all learn Spanish. And she actually said a Spanish word. I just like, here's another hint. It was an ad.
She made a whole ad out of it.
She made a whole ad.
I can't.
Yeah.
Margarine Taylor Grease. She's a little bit higher in government than.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Is she?
So Mary said Ted Cruz. No. Andrea said Kay Ivey. Must be MTG. Any other guess here? All right, Kay Ivey.
That's right, Andrea.
It's Kay Ivey. That was a horrible ad. Like I said, she said some Spanish word in there too. I can't even. It was just bad and racist. Here's a question. Who did Hersh? I was going to call him Herschel.
Who
did Herschel? Who did Herschel take a photo with this week when he should have been at his debate? Black man, Georgia. Oh gosh, who did he take? No, sorry, Black man court. Who did
Herschel's trying to take over Georgia?
Yeah, yeah, he is. Who did Herschel take a photo with this week when he should have been having his debate? Black man wears a robe. Cheesing too.
That ball player.
No, I know. I said the question wrong. Sorry, Michelle. Who did Herschel Walker take a photo with this week when he should have been at his debate? A black man that wears a robe. His wife's in trouble.
She also starred in Forrest Gump. Sorry.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Michelle said Thomas. Any other guesses? Clarence
Mary
Thomas.
Got Clarence Thomas too. Yes.
Andrea, you got a guess here? Anyone else? Zay? Okay. Clarence. All right. Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas. You guys are correct. Next quote. I've been waiting on you all day. Quote of the week. Okay. Black man, New York. Subway.
I don't know his name. I don't know his. Oh, yes, I do. I think.
New York, black man, Subway. I've been waiting on you all day.
No guesses, people? I love Mary.
Kanye. Booker. New York.
Oh my God. That is exactly who he looks like, though.
Blackburn. He does look like Blackburn, to be honest with you. You're right.
No. Oh my God. Michelle said Booker. I was thinking Bookman from Good Times.
Oh, Bookman. Oh. I've been waiting on you all day.
Shape the same. All
No
right,
one.
I think they're stumped.
Okay. Frank James, also known as the New York subway shooter, I guess. When he was in McDonald's, that's what he said. I've been waiting on you all day.
Wow.
Next, I know. Next quote. Affordable Care Act has been called a lot of things, but Obamacare is the most fitting. Ex-Senator, Pennsylvania, white man. Affordable Care Act has been called a lot of things, but Obamacare is the most fitting. Affordable Care Act has been called a lot of things, but Obamacare is the most fitting. No, you're not invisible, Mariel. There's a delay. You came in very late.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I think she, oh, you don't?
No.
Mary is very late. She's saying Clarence Thomas. Oh, for this one, maybe? No. Affordable Care Act has been called a lot of things. Obamacare is the most fitting. White man, ex-senator, Pennsylvania. Ex-senator. Initials JB. You got it, right? No?
JB? I thought it was Delaware.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe that's... And I legitimately put Pennsylvania.
Y'all, please forgive my co-host.
I know, my bag. Delaware, my bag.
It is Thursday Eve. I think she started celebrating. It's Friday Eve. I think you start celebrating a little early or something.
I did these quotes not on today. Jungle Brothers.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm sorry, guys. Delaware. Affordable Care Act has been called a lot of things, but Obamacare is the most fitting. Delaware.
Yes, it is.
Ex-senator.
It is Joe Biden, people. It is Joe Biden. Andrea got it.
Yeah, Mario, you are really delayed. She's very delayed because she's saying Frank James. So that's the issue. She's asking if she was invisible, but she's way behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's way behind. Let's keep moving. One more.
Okay.
What entertainer pulled himself from Coachella? Crazy Black MAGA.
I thought he was uninvited.
He said he pulled himself. Was he uninvited? I mean, he maybe to save face, he said he pulled himself out of there. Girl, he probably was, to be honest with you. Right. Well, he's right. He probably said, I'm not coming anyway.
Just say,
Or knew he was and then pulled himself before he got uninvited. Zay says Kanye. It's not too many crazy Black MAGAs out there going to Coachella.
I love Marielle. Yeeks. Yeeks. That's appropriate.
Yes.
these days. That is the
Yes.
best answer.
Yikes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Kanye. Travis is a good guess though. Did he pull himself out too? I think he may have.
Girl, that's the wrong person. I'm not really intimate with the
I don't know
lineup of Coachella.
That is true. I don't know. Travis is a crazy black MAGA. He could be though. Mm-hmm. So thank you guys for playing the game. We are going to wrap it up now because we are running out of time. I wasted a lot of time with that wrong answer. Forgive me, President Biden. You are from Delaware, not Pennsylvania. I guess I was thinking about what's his face that's running. But anyway, go ahead. We have a special interest story. What are we going to talk about?
We do. And not a lot of time, but just wanted to let you guys know that April is Fair Housing Month. I actually attended a webinar yesterday hosted by the Urban Institute that was on housing disparities, and they took a look at Newark, New Jersey. For whatever reason, and this was cited by Mayor Ross Baraka, mayor of Newark. Newark has a higher than national average racial disparity in home ownership and rentership, just in employment and housing expenses in just about every area. And so they have been they looked historically at issues that have caused this: redlining. Recently, you have issues with the Great Recession where people lost their homes and so therefore lost their accumulated wealth. You have investors that have come in to buy up tracts of homes in predominantly Black areas, preventing people in the area from reinvesting and buying homes in their own area. And so there was just a myriad of information that they talked about as far as solutions, doing land trusts, where the city owns the land, works with developers, nonprofits to build affordable housing for people. They talked about working with nonprofits, smaller nonprofits, to really, again, get that affordable housing out there. And even balancing out home ownership with rentership. One of the things that they explained was when you have a lot of apartment complexes and things, it drives down your tax base. And so it kind of encourages disinvestment, which is what has happened in a lot of our historically Black neighborhoods. So, you want a mix of units because not everyone's going to want to own a home, but then have affordable housing for those that do want to become homeowners and can begin to accumulate wealth, because a home is our main asset. So, yeah,
exactly. We count on that equity, and we count on, either selling it, getting the money from it, or handing it down to our children. And that, goes to another thing that we talked about on this particular topic about having more Black appraisers to appraise our homes properly, because it's been found out, and Biden's actually going to start tackling this, that, Black homeowners are being lowballed with the appraisals on their homes.
Let me see. They spoke on that. The appraisals right now, 97% white. They are not required to go through any type of bias training, any type of diversity training. And so therefore, you're right. They will go to, there have been instances and when Black families are trying to sell their house, they'll go in, they'll give them a below market appraisal. They have taken the pictures off the wall and posted a white couple, and the appraisals have gone up, they said, by as much as $300,000. Published studies. So, I mean, it really, so we're just not accumulating wealth even at the same rate, because it's just not equitable. So there are a lot of areas. Our homeowners insurance. For instance, you mentioned our car insurance.
Car insurance. And I know, I'm sure you've noticed, in urban areas or
Mhm.
more diverse areas, that car
Mhm.
insurance is very expensive. Out in the suburbs, they pay less
Mhm.
money. So again,
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
equitable. Like if you're a person of color, you're just spending money and you're not making money because you're shorting us out on a home appraisals
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. Home
even
appraisal
our wages.
on our selling price.
Right. Selling price, that too.
One of the things that lower income homeowners face, especially black and brown people,
Mhm.
is the quality of the
Right.
homes that we often have to choose from. And so
Right.
what happens there, they explained, is that oftentimes they're big expenditures that happen in the course of the first few years of home ownership that makes people struggle. It makes it
Right.
very difficult for them to be able to maintain and sustain their home.
Right.
Furnaces go up, refrigerators go up.
Right.
Oh my God, I was in Home Depot the other day. I saw a refrigerator was like $2,300.
Right.
Bells and whistles, but still nothing is inexpensive anymore. And
Right.
so they spoke of putting programs in place from beginning to end, how to save, closing costs, applying for subsidies for closing costs. They said
Right.
most lenders will not tell you there's subsidies for down payments, there's
Right.
subsidies for closing
Yep.
costs. We don't get that type of information. And
Right.
so, this is something that we can discuss all month because it is Fair Housing Month, but it was just really a good webinar on barriers for us, for Black and Brown people, to home ownership and accumulated wealth. So,
And imagine, and I know we have to move on, but
mhm,
even buying a home, right? The
mhm,
seller may not even, if we think about renting, how you don't get rented to because you may be a person of
mhm,
color,
mhm.
they may not sell you their home either. They may not even take your offer.
And you'd never know.
You would never
You would
know.
never know. You
Hmm.
would never know,
Yeah.
which is why we have to continue to root out bias and actually bring this to light. I mean, we've always known that we've been maligned as far as housing and land wealth and things like that are
Right.
concerned. And
Mhm.
now it's just really, the pandemic really brought it out.
Right.
Um, us not being able to space out. So we had higher concentrations of COVID.
Mhm.
Um, just a number of things have really brought forth the lack of affordable housing for us and a
Right.
lack of opportunity to purchase.
Lack of opportunity to purchase. And as you said, our interest rates are higher. Like, so,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that is a thing. That is a thing. Thank you, Honor.
You
Uh,
are so welcome.
yeah, that was great. Great education. People need to know these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, in closing, as always, we are going to do a Black fact. We are going to talk about Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin was born March 17th, 1912. He died August 24th, 1987, at the age of 75. Bayard Rustin was a leader in social movements for civil rights, socialism, nonviolence, and gay rights. Rustin worked with Philip Randolph on the March on Washington in 1941 to press for the end to racial discrimination in employment. Rustin later organized freedom rides and helped to organize the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to strengthen Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership. He later served as an organizer for the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. He worked alongside Ella Baker, who was co-director of the Crusade for Citizenship. And before the Montgomery bus boycott, he helped organize a group called In Friendship. In Friendship provided material and legal assistance to those being evicted from their tenant farms and households. Rustin became the head of the AFL-CIO, which promoted the integration of formerly all-white unions and promoted the unionization of African Americans. During the 1970s and 80s, Rustin served on many humanitarian missions, such as aiding refugees from Vietnam and Cambodia. At the time of his death in 1987, he was on a humanitarian mission in Haiti. Rustin was a gay man And due to criticism over his sexuality, he usually acted as an influential advisor behind the scenes to civil rights leaders. In 1980s, he became a public advocate on behalf of gay causes, speaking at events as an activist and a supporter of human rights. And it's interesting because they did say that Bayard Rustin was Martin Luther King's right-hand man, but you never knew it. Like he was just quietly behind the scenes doing what he did because, during that time, it was taboo to be, a gay man or a woman.
Right.
So,
right.
So kudos to Bayard Rustin.
I didn't know that about Bayard, but I just want to point out one small thing that comes together here. Martin Luther King, Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King, a preacher, a man of God, had a gay right-hand man.
Right.
There was no conflict for him,
right,
as far as that was concerned. And I think that that's a lesson that really needs to be taken up today.
Yeah.
With the Black church. I don't know where that veered.
Right.
But we need to come back together on that.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. Look at Pauline Murray. She was ordained herself. It's like, so how? Yeah, absolutely right. I agree. Thank you, everyone. This was great. This is Thursday, so tomorrow is Friday. So everyone have a happy weekend, and it's Friday, Easter. Easter is Sunday.
It's Good Friday tomorrow, and Easter Sunday on Sunday.
Yes, for everyone who celebrates. Have a good Easter and a good Friday.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Make sure you please subscribe and give a thumbs up. We appreciate you all. Good night.